I think it's absolutely important that the goals that we have, we always go over those goals. And we try to be consistent and we try to do it on a daily basis. Sometimes we may not have the time, depending on what we got going on that day, depending on what we have going on in our life. Sometimes, we don't always get to have the opportunity to go over our goals. But I think it's very, very crucial and important that we go over our goals. And I think it's very important the things that we want to do. So we have a clear understanding as far as where we want to get to. Now, in terms of the goals, we may have intermediate goals, we may have short term goals, we may have long term goals, depending on the goals that we set out that we want to accomplish. And so I try to write my goals out. And the reason why I try to write my goals out because there's what you call accountability. You hold yourself accountable. You say, hey, listen, I said I'm going to do this, but I'm not really doing it. Am I making strides? Am I accomplishing my goals? Am I having success in doing it? Because I believe the reason why because we could become stagnant and it could affect us in the long run. But when we have goals in mind, it keeps things in perspective, it keeps things in front of us, and we're able to see and able to identify areas that we need to improve on or we need to change and so forth. So I think it's very, very crucial that we write the goals out and we know and we have an idea as far as what we want to do. Because a lot of times, or oftentimes, what happens is we get sidetracked by so many things that's occurred in life. Life has a way of throwing a curveball, and before you know it, everything is all messed up. Everything's out of whack. So it's always good to write the goals out and say, hey, listen, I have a goal of wanting to lose weight. And maybe I don't really know exactly when, right? So it's an indicator as far as what you want to do. But if you say, okay, listen, I made up my mind, I want to lose weight, okay, and I want to lose weight by next month. So what needs to happen? Okay, well, I need to incorporate a good workout and I need to change my diet. And so you have a timeline in mind and you try to stick to that timeline. But what happens now with procrastination, as I always state, has a way of negating that, and then all of a sudden you get sidetracked, and then all of a sudden that goes out the window. So when we have a goal in mind and we say, hey, I want to be doing this at this time, I want to accomplish this at this time. You know what I mean? I have a goal of going to university. I have a goal of going to college. I have a goal of wanting to become a journalist. I have a goal of wanting to be this and so forth. You get my drift. So, but when you don't really have a goal in mind, you're all over the place. There's no structure. And there always needs to be structure in every single thing that we do. There needs to be structure. I really believe that to be the case. And sometimes it's not the case. So at a very young age, I started writing on my goals. Let's say you want to buy certain clothes. You're like, okay, man, I need a job in order for me to buy these clothes. Because, right? And then you put two and two together. So whatever goal it is that you have in mind, it's always good to write things out because it keeps things in proper perspective and it really, really can be helpful. And then you could look at your goals and say, hey, you know what? I accomplished this goal. And you know what? Hey, you know what? For whatever reason, I'm yet to accomplish this goal, but I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep striving to accomplish this goal. And always try to include our Lord Jesus in our goals because sometimes it may not be in line with the Father's will, right? We know that's true. Sometimes we want to do things that is not in agreement to God. So any goals that we have, they should be clean. And when I say clean, meaning there shouldn't be anything that is going to be illegal or anything that's going to be, crooked or whatever. But the goal should really, really be in line with the Father's will, to be quite honest, right? So I encourage you to write out your goals and just really, really, really have the understanding and the mindset that once we put our minds to do, once we bear in mind that listen, we have a goal, we could accomplish this goal if we stick to that goal. right? We have to stick to the goals. You know, Napoleon Hill stated in Think and Grow Rich, he said, the people that succeed, right, are people who stick to their goals. They seldom change them, or if they change them at all, they stick to those goals. And the people who tend not to stick to goals, or people who change their mind too often and very quickly, right? So it's never, never a good thing where all of a sudden you want to do this, and then you want to do this, you want to do this. No, you find one thing you want to do, you stick to it, you say, hey, this is the goal. I want to become this or that. And you stick to it. And then success will follow. All right. So I just want to say, God bless.